Hey there, it's Jamie again, and welcome to the first video for the second part of our Zappos project. You've got the data scraped and it's sitting on your computer, and you've opened it up, hopefully, and saved it as an Excel file. That will be your project going forward, but if you want to follow along with me for this project, follow the link to the sample data set that's in the project description, and you'll be able to have this exact file and your answers will match mine perfectly. So I'm going to start by opening my Excel file. And this is what we see when we open up a scraped web page file. Welcome to a data set, right? This is what it looks like, and they're a little bit messy. What I want you to start off with doing is making sure that the first tab in your sheet is named number 1. To do that, you just double click on the tab, the words will highlight, and then you'll enter the number 1. This is our raw data, and we do not want to mess with our raw data because if we mess it up, we're going to have to go back either to the CSV file or worst case scenario back and re-scrape. You don't want to have to do that. You want to keep this here, you want to keep it accessible, and you don't want to mess with it. So how do you clean the data? You make a copy. You make a copy of this sheet within this same workbook. I'll show you how. You right click, left click, and then right click on the tab that you want to copy, and then you select Move or Copy. When you click Move or Copy, and you click Move to the end and create a copy, followed by OK, you now see the second tab, and they're identical. In that second tab, double-click and label it 2. So now you've got 2 sheets in this spreadsheet, and they're the same. Now we're only going to alter the second tab so that we can always go back to our original data if we make a mistake and need to start over. So where do we start here? One great piece of news is that we don't need all of the information. If you look at the first row, this is the variables. Some of these will be familiar. Brand, we asked to scrape brand. Model, we asked to scrape model. We asked for price, we asked for true to size, true to width. We asked for reviews, and we asked for the percent giving it 5 stars, the number of stars given for comfort, and the number of stars given for style. Here in this link to reviews is our overall rating that somebody gave that shoe. And I'm going to change that name. But other than this, we want to only keep the variables that we specifically scraped. We don't want web scraper order. We don't need that. We don't need any of the websites, right? We don't need the URL. We don't need the link to shoe website. We don't need the link to review. And we don't need this information that was contained in the link to shoe. So we're going to delete some variables. To delete a variable, you click, or a column basically, you click on the letter. If you want to delete multiple columns at once, you click on the letter, you hold down the Command key on a Mac or the Control key on a PC, and delete all of the columns you don't want. We don't want any of the URLs, we don't want the web scraper order, and we don't want this variable called link to shoe. Then you right click and select delete. And here we have the data that we want to use for our analysis. It's still not exactly in a form we can use. I want to first sort it and then show you how to change some of these variables into a form that's usable. So to sort our data, we want to highlight all of the data in the chart. Then under data, I'm going to choose sort. Because my variable names are written in the top row, I need to select this option that says my list has headers. Then here under column, I can say that I want to sort by the column called brand. Then I want to add a row. And I'm going to sort by the column called model. And then I'm going to add a row. And then I'm going to sort by the column called price. And I'm going to click OK. And you can see right away that our spreadsheet has taken on a little bit more order. Let's highlight all of the columns and then double click on the space between the letters, right? Do you see how my mouse is changing? And by double clicking, it will format each cell, each highlighted cell, to being as wide as it needs to be. And now you can see that, brand is a word we can read, the model's a word we can read, the price is a number, true to size and true to width are numbers, 5 stars is numbers. But here in the overall rating and in the comfort column and in the style column, we need to make a couple of changes. We need not this whole sentence. We need to know what the overall rating is, what the comfort rating is, and what the style rating is. And what that translates to is in each of these columns, we need that middle or that second number. Here it says 4 rated 4 stars, 2 rated 2 stars, right? We want that middle number. So we're going to have to use a text to column. We're going to have to take all these words and spread them out across columns. And then we're going to have to keep the column that we want. How in the world do they do that? Well, let's show you. The first thing we've got to do is if we want to spread all these words out, we've got to make room for them to spread out into. To do that, we highlight a series of columns, right-click, and then choose Insert. Those columns will all move to the right. I'm going to adjust the width just so that you know that the rest of mine didn't disappear. And then if I click on the column and I select the whole column, and I can select text to columns, and Excel uses the text to columns function to allow us to extract some information out of a long string of text. Our first choice that we have to make is whether or not there's something like a comma or a tab or a space that separates the information, or if it's fixed width. And my Excel knows that it's fixed width, but if you're eyeballing it and it looks, when you look at the column, like you can almost see where the columns should be within that data already, that's fixed width. Because if I click next, Excel suggests places to make new columns. It thinks that we should make a new column after that 4 rated. It thinks we should make a column after that number 4. It thinks we should make a new column after 5, one after out, right? You get the idea. What I really am just trying to capture is all those 4s. So you can remove these lines by double clicking on them and then select Next. Confirm that you mean it. And now we'll have, that is our overall star rating. And I'm going to label that overall rating. I'm then going to delete overall, rating, and the rest of those columns. We have to repeat this for comfort and style. I'm going to go through it quickly and you can follow along. I start by making space, highlighting or selecting the column I'm interested in, then choosing under the Data tab, Text to Columns. It knows I want fixed width, and if I click Next, it'll select where to put the lines. I remove the lines I don't want because I don't want it to make a bunch of columns. I confirm that I meant what I said. Then I relabel the column that has the data I want to keep. And I delete the cells I don't want, or the columns I don't want. Then I center it because that makes me happy. And I do style. Select the column, data, text to column. I confirm that fixed is okay, and I remove the delineations that I don't think are necessary. and I click Next and Finish. Then I relabel the column that I want to keep, Style Rating, and I click on the columns I don't want, holding down the Command or the Control key so that I can highlight multiple. Then I right-click and choose Delete. And now I'm here with a data set that looks a lot like something, it looks a lot more like something I can use. I have a couple more changes to make, but I don't want to keep you on this video forever, so I'm going to stop now and let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next video.